It's your girl Tee Cee, aka Not Your Average Career Coach, who you wish was your teacher at school. Okay. So, as some of you may know, last week Not Your Average Girl hosted our very first event of the year actually, called TV Girls Night Up, and this event was simply created to help young women who are aspiring to get into TV, who are either in their first job already or just looking for opportunities to peer-to-peer network with other young women in the TV and digital industry. It was an absolutely phenomenal turnout. I did not expect 3 sold out nights. Like, that was crazy, and I'm just so excited, like, So the whole purpose of the event was about providing insight, and I did this by interviewing young women who had just landed their first jobs in TV. So I really wanted them to share their experiences and practical tips as well. That was the most important thing, because one of the things that I'd often witnessed is a lot of young women going to these different networking events, going to these different panel events, and never really having those tangible tips or practical tips that they can apply literally right now today. So I really wanted to provide some information and insight that they could apply for themselves. So I hope they walked away with enough juice, enough sauce and enough information, and I know they did because y'all told me that you took note. Okay. And if I'm being honest, like, when I first came into this industry, I didn't really feel like I had all the necessary tools, resources and the network that I needed for a much smoother start. It's not that I'm going to say that this industry is easy to navigate even with all the information in the world, but as much insight does actually help, and that's what I wanted to give back. By doing this event, I wanted to give young women something that I felt was missing when coming into this industry. We had some phenomenal, fantastic guests, okay? Like, the guests were bombom.com. We had digital journalist at BBC News, MAIA Lawson. We had trainee researcher at BBC Education, Amelia Benjamin. We had TV makeup artist, BEATRYFLO. We had production trainee at BBC Three, JESS Fouché. We had another production trainee at BBC Three, SAMARA Linton. We also had junior video executive at BBC Studios, OLIVIA Banks. And we had GABY, who is a production secretary stroke freelance producer, and she is currently based at Argonon. These guests really did show up and really inform our ladies how to level up, their experiences, their knowledge, their insights. It was just so invaluable, and it was really helpful for any young women out there who just need the hard, cold facts and reality and nothing but. Most importantly, shout out to our fabulous attendees. Y'all lit up that chat box. You know I'm so interactive. I love to talk. I couldn't physically see all of you, but when you were in that chat box showing me that you were learning, showing me that you were taking note, it just set my heart on fire, because I really want you guys to take away information. And some of the phenomenal feedback that I've received is it's just warming to my heart, and without you, obviously, this event couldn't happen. So most importantly, thank you for showing up, because in life, if you want doors to open, if you want opportunities to happen, you first have to make that conscious decision to show up. So you made the first step. Well done to you. I mean, I'm just going to read you some of these testimonials, because some of the feedback, honestly, it just touched my heart. Had a great time being a part of this, was able to learn from so many amazing, strong and inspiring women. Big thank you to Tee Cee for hosting this, and to all the incredible guests involved. So sad it's over. Yesterday, I joined this week's last webinar of the TV Girls Night Up event series, hosted by BBC TV presenter and development researcher Tee Cee. This opportunity was organised by Not Your Average Girl for young women to gain insight into entry-level media careers and have a chance to build their network. The guests of the night, who just landed their first jobs in TV, were Olivia Banks, video executive, junior content editor, and GABY, production secretary. 1 hour with these amazing ladies went by really fast. It was not only full of valuable information, but it was a positive boost too, which is very much needed in times like these. 2 key takeaways of the evening for me were 1, network, and 2, establish habits that will help you improve your skills and knowledge of the industry. In the past weeks, I found it a bit more difficult to stay productive, so thank you for the motivation and inspiration, ladies. Hi Tee Cee, I saw your advert for TV Girls Night Up and registered for Thursday night's event. I just wanted to say I really enjoyed it and it was just the right energy I needed. I'm a production assistant at a creative agency and want to make the move into TV production. Recently, I've been feeling a bit down about job searching and applications, but after the event, I'm feeling more positive. I took notes on the pointers yourself, Gaby and Olivia kindly gave, and I'll definitely be using your advice in my approach from now on. Those are just some of the many more testimonials that came in, and honestly, what can I say? I didn't ask them to write this. I cannot make this up. This is how you have been impacted by this event. This is all I wanted, so I am so thankful for that. So I thought I'd just put together a little highlight reel just to showcase what took place in our webinars last week. There were 4 back-to-back webinars every night, Monday to Thursday from 9 till 10. Thursdays was so good. I had to ask our attendees if I could go over for like 5 minutes because there was just so much sauce being dropped left, right and centre. We could just not end on time, and they were like, girl, we could be here for another hour. So it just goes to show that people really need this information, so I am grateful once again. I know I keep repeating myself, but I am just so yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. Enjoy this highlight reel. The source you can see for yourself, and I hope to be doing a lot more of these events to come, so watch this space. I mean, I remember coming into this industry and my mum said, you know, I think you need to get elocution lessons because no one's going to be able to understand you because your Birmingham accent's so strong. So like I kind of had this like initial fear of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to fit in. And what was it like for you guys coming into the big BBC?
It's naive to go into this industry and think there isn't going to be a lot of like white middle class people from the south. Like, you've got to prepare yourself, that's how it's going to be, but you've just got to be the change there, not change who you are. Like you were saying with your accent, there is no way, like I might slow down because I speak really fast, way that I'd ever speak without my accent on a thinker. I just think, be proud of who you are and where you're from. Like, there ain't no problem in it.
I love it. I absolutely love that piece of advice. You absolutely know. Girls, listen, if Maia's dropping some nuggets, you know, you better light up that chat box. Come on now. Amelia, how have you found it? Fellow Brummie?
Oh, I think for me, like I said, no one ever really prepares you. But I used to do athletics, and my coach actually used to work for the BBC beforehand. I said, you know, I'm looking into going into the TV industry. And the first thing he said to me was, okay, first of all, you're black and you're a female. You're going to have to work doubly as hard to kind of get where you want to be. So be prepared for that. And, you know, you're kind of like, oh, yeah, I can take over the world. Like, that's fine. I'm still, like, self-assured. I'm confident. But like I said, the BBC in itself is just a machine anyway. But I feel like the TV industry, you think it would be like glitz and glamour. And that's the perception I had. I thought, oh, it'd be really exciting. But and someone who's gone through a scheme, you feel like you almost have to prove yourself. Like, I am here because I am passionate about this job. I'm not here out of pity. Obviously, like, I do have things to bring to the table. But yeah, it's a roller coaster of emotions at first. I definitely think you have to be thick-skinned as well.
Absolutely.
Also, if you're not that confident with just speaking at first, like, I found myself a mentor and she's absolutely lovely. Her name's Tasha. And like, I recognize that, you know, I'm at entry level, but at the same time, I want to add. And she said, there's nothing wrong to be quietly confident, you know, to take in your surroundings and to speak, not for the sake of speaking, but speak when you actually have facts to say.
I think that is such an important piece of advice. Often people come into this space and because there's so many people talking, you feel that you have to be the loudest person in the room. But absolutely, quietly confident and knowing that you've got ish to bring to the table is the best way to be. So I 100% hear you. Okay, we've got a question from Charlotte Roberts. What are your best tips for staying positive and confident in your work after you've had some rejections and knockdowns? I'll let you go first, Flo.
Oh, thank you. Good question again. I think I'll just use myself as a testimony and myself as an example. 2017, and I screenshot and put on my own Twitter like last year. 2017, I actually DM'd Deloni, which is the presenter of the show we just showed you the clip from. I DM'd Deloni and I was like, please, I'm an upcoming makeup artist. I would just love to work with you. Like, I'll literally do it for free. I just want the opportunity so that I could like expand my work. No reply, like literally crickets. Like if I was someone that would beat myself up and be like, oh, she didn't reply to me, like all these people haven't replied to me, like I don't think it's for me. No, as I said earlier, believe in yourself, believe in your source. Like I still was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna work harder. Fast forward 2019, working on BBC with Aloni. Like I had to show her that DM. Like she's like, I didn't even see it. I was like, yeah. But you know what? Just believe in yourself. Like setbacks are meant to happen, but quitters never win, and winners never quit.
Okay, girl, listen. You need to be dropping some 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s in that chat box and nuggets. I can't be bothered. Cannot be bothered. Listen. Do you know what? To that question, Charlotte, I would say if you guys go on my Twitter at This Is Tee Cee, you will see that I am verified and I still get ignored. So it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're verified or you're not verified, everybody gets ignored. But as Flo said, you just have to keep going. As cliche as it sounds, where someone says no, there's someone else who will says yes. But every door that gets shut, another one will open. Not every person in your life is supposed to be a gatekeeper. But when you find your key gatekeeper, trust me, they will open that door. Yeah. And it doesn't need 10 people. You don't need 10 people to validate you. If that one person, all you need is one person. And that's all I will say to that.
I think one of the main reasons I was picked for the trainee scheme was because of my PR experience, which is quite interesting because obviously a lot of people would say, you know, it's quite different. So I would say, like, if you don't come from a traditional TV background, don't let that hold you back at all. In fact, I think sometimes it helps. I don't know why, but like, if you know how to like highlight your transferable skills and really, really think about it to try and be different and like, you know, not just like the obvious things like communication, like go deeper. Yeah. I think they really are receptive to that massively. And then I'd also say I'd advise people to do their own projects. I think not even just being able to, it's not really about the quality of the projects, I don't think. I think it's just showing that you're proactive and that you're passionate about something. So I was told by somebody at BBC Three that one of the reasons I was picked was because I had helped out with loads of short films, like just as a runner or whatever, like during my free time and stuff like that. And that it wasn't that the short films were amazing, it was just that, you know, you're proactive basically, and that's the kind of person we want. So those are probably my two top pieces of advice.
Yeah, 100% agree with Jess. I think the phrase transferable skills is thrown around so much, but there's actually a few of us in the trainee scheme who don't have a traditional TV background, and as we get to know each other, it became really, really clear that it was just because we all had these skills that made us unique and brought something different to TV. And I think especially somewhere like BBC Three, they're always trying to like be innovative and have fresh ideas, new ideas. And I think, yeah, coming from a non-traditional background was really, really helpful with that. And like, yeah, for me, I didn't do lots of projects, but the projects that I did do that weren't TV related at all, but they demonstrated my drive. They demonstrated my ability to be organized, to work with people, demonstrated, I guess, my commitment to storytelling, which I think is what got me onto this scheme. So even though it wasn't about TV or radio or anything like that, the things I had done, I guess, showed that aspect of me far better than I could have ever said it. Yeah. Like, you can always say, oh, I'm such a good storyteller, I love people, I love their stories, but actually the things I had done just in my spare time had really shown that. So I think, yeah, 100% agree with Jess about that. And yeah, like, it was those things, not any actual technical skills or anything that I had that got me here. That being said, if you want to develop technical skills, there's like so many online resources. But I would think those are things anybody can learn, but you can't necessarily teach someone drive or teach someone passion or teach someone, you know, those things that are so desirable in TV.
Come on, listen, you better throw some ones in the chat for them nuggets, man. I want to see those 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, everything. Do you know what? I think you have both touched on a really key element, because actually when I got chosen to be an apprentice in BBC Radio, like nearly 6 years ago now, since so far ago, but yeah, it was because of what I was doing in the meantime. And so many people, when they get rejected, especially at the first hurdle, because I tried to get into the BBC, I think 2 to 3 times, and I got rejected. And it's easier to stop there and think, do you know what? If they don't want me, I'm going to give up. But you really have to ask yourself, ladies, and if you've got a notepad and pen, what am I doing in the meantime? Please write that down on a piece of paper. What am I doing in the meantime? Because you really underestimate the power of your in the meantime experience. It's the fact that you're still creating. It's the fact that you're still writing or journaling, or like Jess said, working on different types of content, or like Samara said, you know, this girl's out here co-editing an anthology. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were doing bits. What were they doing in the meantime? They were still doing them. They were still being proactive and creative. And that's what landed them their desired job. You know, you can't afford to sit on what you are currently bringing to the table. Do not underestimate the power and the value of your in the meantime experience. A lot of people in this Q&A are asking about general advice. So if you could both just each give one piece of advice for anyone on how to get into TV production, or into TV, or how to get their first job in TV, what's one piece of practical advice that you would give to them each? I'll let whoever wants to go first, I don't mind.
I would say my advice would be, like, connect with people in the industry. Like, I know that sounds, then the question is how, but honestly, like, the more people that you meet and interact with and let them know what you want to do, like, you'll open doors up for yourself, and really the doors are unlimited.
100%.
And I tell you, like, there's jobs in this place, like, there's jobs here. You know, you don't have to work in just one area. You could go into distribution, you could go into broadcast, you could go into production, you could go into post, like, and then in each of these areas there's even more roles that exist. So, like, network, chat to people, see what roles they interact with, and see what you would really enjoy, like, and go for it, because it's there. People just want to see enthusiasm and passion. Like, if you can tell them 3 or 4 like programs that you really love, and then maybe one that you didn't like, and articulate why it doesn't work for you, you're in, bruv. That's the code.
Gabby was preaching a word. I hope y'all were taking note there. Preach.
Yeah, I'd say pretty much along the same lines, to be honest. I mean, it does look a lot more difficult from the outside, and to be fair, it is difficult, but to get to, I mean, like, I'm sort of, again, I'm going to speak for you two a little bit here, but I'm sure behind every, you know, like, you've landed a good job, there's been about 50 to 100 bad interviews, or like, just, yeah, generally just bad interviews. So I had about 40, I think, before I got to BBC.
Wow, that's incredible.
But
wow.
The thing is, with some of them, as long as you're like nice and you have a good attitude and they know that you're passionate, because a lot of times they will just come back to you with the, I'm sorry, we need some more experience, even though it's an entry-level job. Like, how do I get my MACLEOD? That's the cycle you're going to go through. But I had interviews that I thought had gone well, and then they say to me, like, I'm really sorry, we're looking for someone a bit more experience, but you seem nice, we like you, you've got good passion and ideas. One of my friends at this company is hiring, why don't you go there? Or it was interviewers who told me about the unit list and screen skills and all those lovely websites that we talked about earlier. It was people who just thought, you know what, I can't give you a job right now, but I'll give you a bit of advice and a bit of help, because I know it's hard because I've been there.
Yeah.
But as long as your like passion and like positive attitude comes through, something will eventually come up. And again, back to my I'm gonna make it my catchphrase now, like just politely pester people. Because again, that's the way of showing like I'm passionate, I'm positive, like I want this more than the other person. Hello, talk to me. And as long as you politely pester, after a while, either going to come back and say, worst case scenario, no, we're not interested, in which case go on to the next company to pester. Or they'll come back and say, like, you know, haven't got anything at the moment, but can we keep your information on file? And then next time something comes up, we need to go to you. Or actually, we could use a pair of hands for this thing. Can you come? So yeah, I think just find everyone's emails, maybe not phone numbers, everyone's emails, don't get too stalkerish, everyone's emails, and way to contact them, and then just politely pester and just let them know that you're there and that you know you're hungry for it. And sooner or later, someone will come back and be like, actually, like we could use this.